You are not alone. By any external measure, you are not alone. There are people in your life who love you, people who would answer if you called, people who would show up. And yet, there is this specific feeling that arrives in the middle of conversations, in the middle of gatherings, in the middle of people who genuinely care about you. A feeling that nobody in the room actually sees you, not the real you, the version of you that has never quite made it into words. And you have learned to function with this feeling. You have learned to smile through it and contribute and be present, and then go home and feel the exact same way you felt before you arrived. Today, we need to talk about what this actually is, because it is not what most people think loneliness is. And the reason you are still carrying it has almost nothing to do with the number of people in your life. There are two entirely different kinds of loneliness, and most people only know how to talk about one of them. The first is situational loneliness, the loneliness of physical isolation, not having people around. This is the kind that gets addressed when you join a group, make a friend, fill your calendar. It responds to proximity. It improves when circumstances improve. And it is the kind almost every cultural conversation about loneliness is actually about. The second kind is what researchers now call relational loneliness, or sometimes existential loneliness. And this kind does not respond to proximity at all, because it is not caused by the absence of people. It is caused by the absence of genuine contact. You can be surrounded by people who love you, and still be experiencing this kind of loneliness so deeply that it takes your breath away in the middle of a dinner table. Because the loneliness is not about who is in the room. It is about whether the room contains anyone who actually knows what is happening inside you. The psychologist John Cacioppo spent decades studying loneliness, and what he found changed the way researchers understand it. Loneliness, he discovered, is not simply a social problem. It is a biological signal. The nervous system experiences genuine social disconnection the same way it experiences physical pain. The same neural pathways activate. The same alarm systems fire. The body treats the absence of real connection not as a preference unmet, but as a threat to survival. Because for most of human history, genuine isolation from the group was genuinely dangerous. And the nervous system has not updated its threat assessment to reflect that you are now surrounded by people who don't quite reach you. Here is where the wound meets the pattern. Because relational loneliness, the kind that persists even inside connection, is almost always rooted in something that formed earlier than any of the relationships you are currently in. It forms when a person learns, early and repeatedly, that certain parts of themselves are not safe to bring into relationship. The child who discovers that their emotional reality is inconvenient, who learns that keeping the peace requires hiding what they actually feel, who is shaped by an environment where love was available but real intimacy was not, grows into an adult who knows how to be present but does not know how to be seen. And when you do not know how to be seen, you can be in a room full of people and still experience yourself as completely alone, because you are there. But the real you is not. This is the hidden logic of relational loneliness. The people around you cannot reach the part of you that is lonely, because you are not giving them access to it. Not out of malice, out of protection. The same protection that kept you safe in an environment where being fully seen was risky. The wall that was a survival strategy then has become the source of the very loneliness you are trying to escape now. The psalmist captures this in Psalm 22, verse 1, with words that are among the most raw in all of Scripture. My God, why have you forsaken me?" David is not theologically confused. He knows God has not actually abandoned him. He is describing the phenomenological experience of not feeling reached, even in the presence of the one who is closest. Jesus quotes this exact psalm from the cross. The Son of God, in the moment of greatest loneliness in human history, reaches for the most honest description of that loneliness in the entire tradition. Not a prayer of comfort, a cry of being unreached, and it is in Scripture, which means that the God of Scripture does not require you to pretend the loneliness isn't real in order to remain in relationship with Him. So what does relational loneliness actually look like in daily life? Because from the outside, the person experiencing it often looks fine, engaged, connected, present. It looks like being the person people feel comfortable around, but not the person they genuinely know. The one who is easy to be with because you make others feel seen, but who rarely experiences being seen in return. It looks like contributing meaningfully to conversations and then going home with the specific feeling that nothing of yours actually landed. It looks like being good at relationships in a performed sense, showing up, being reliable, saying the right things, while something underneath is quietly keeping score of how rarely anyone notices what is actually happening inside you. And it looks like a particular hunger for a kind of conversation that almost never happens, where someone asks how you are and actually waits for the real answer, and you find yourself not knowing what to do with the waiting because no one has ever done that before. Here's the reframe that changes everything. Relational loneliness is not evidence that you are fundamentally unlovable. It is not evidence that something about you makes genuine connection impossible. It is evidence that you learned to protect yourself in a very specific way, and that protection is now preventing the very thing it was designed to preserve. The wall that keeps you safe also keeps you unseen, and the person on the other side of the wall, however genuinely they want to know you, cannot reach what you will not bring forward. Healing relational loneliness does not begin with finding better people. It begins with the risk of a smaller thing. One true sentence in a conversation where you would normally say something safe. One moment of letting someone see that something affected you rather than quickly explaining it away. One time of answering, "How are you?" with something closer to the truth. Not the full truth, not all at once, just something realer than the usual answer. These are not dramatic gestures, they are the practice of lowering the wall 1 centimeter at a time, and the nervous system, which learned to keep the wall up through repetition, can learn to lower it the same way. Through experience, through enough small moments of reaching and not being dropped. Genesis 2:18 says, "It is not good for the man to be alone." God does not say this after the fall. He says it before anything has gone wrong. In the original design, in the unbroken version of human existence, aloneness was still not good. The longing for genuine connection is not a symptom of weakness or spiritual immaturity. It is woven into the fabric of what you are. And the God who said those words is the same God who designed you to be known. Not just by Him, by each other. Your loneliness is not a failure. It is a signal. And signals, when read correctly, point somewhere real. If what we've talked about today is something you want to go deeper with, I created a structured 7-day journey to help you calm your mind and begin working through the patterns your nervous system has been carrying. It's called the 7-Day Guided Journey to Calm Your Mind. The link is in the description below. It's practical, it's gentle, and it's built for exactly this kind of inner work. Take the next step at your own pace. You were designed for genuine connection, not the kind that requires you to manage how you are perceived, the kind where you are actually known, and that kind is still available to you. Subscribe to this channel. Every week I create content at the intersection of psychology and Christian faith because your inner life matters, and you deserve the language to understand it. You are not alone in this.